Zillow, and today I wanted to react to some more TikToks. Um, so let's get into this. I wanted to see what kind of weird stuff is going on right now. Alright.
In an unfortunate historic first, NASA made a decision unprecedented to bring astronauts home early from the International Space Station because of a medical emergency. In over 25 years of continuous habitation, the ISS has never evacuated a crew member from orbit for health reasons until now. One of the crew members posted on their social media this comment about the evacuation. So this must be really important. Here's what we know. One astronaut experienced a medical issue while in orbit earlier this month. NASA says the crew member is stable, but after consulting a medical professional and agency leadership, NASA administrators ordered the entire crew to return to Earth early as a precaution, and this decision was not taken lightly. This is a huge deal. In space, medical care is extremely limited. And when you get a wound, if you're bleeding, the blood kind of just floats places. So it's hard to do things like surgery. Can you even do anesthesia in outer space? As of now, the answer is no, because our technology currently just doesn't allow for it. But maybe one day. NASA has handled medical issues in orbit before, including things like blood clots, but those cases were stabilized without having to evacuate the space station and ending the mission early. This is the first time the risk crossed the threshold where the safest option was to evacuate. And let's hope it doesn't happen again. Breaking news in space medicine and
Very interesting. First time ever doing that, I guess. I'd say it's completely fine because, like, these people need medical emergency saving. They need that. Like, imagine not being able to get saved and you're stuck inside of probably the worst place to be harmed in outer space. Right?
I have huge asteroid space news. Some of it is good, some of it is bad. The good news is that NASA has been monitoring the asteroid 2024 YR4. They calculated that a few days ago, it had a 1 in 32 chance of hitting Earth on December 22nd, 2032. But new observations taken last night have updated those odds. Now, the chance of hitting Earth has decreased to 0.28%. That's the good news. However, the chance of this asteroid hitting the moon is rising. That chance is now at 1%. I personally do not know what those repercussions would be if this asteroid hit the moon. It doesn't have an atmosphere to protect it. I will let you know when I learn more. It is more likely that this asteroid is going to pass between the Earth and the moon. Now, these numbers have been constantly changing as astronomers are studying this asteroid, and I believe they're going to continue to change. But as of right now, February 20th, 2025, there is only a 1 in 400 chance that this asteroid is going to hit Earth. This asteroid is between 40 and 90 meters across, which is definitely big enough to cause damage to a city, but definitely not big enough for a mass extinction or anything. I have huge asteroid space news.
How big does a city have to be? Say like Los Angeles or Las Vegas, um, as big as San Francisco. Like, will those places, if they got hit by that asteroid, go up? Will they be disappearing? Or are we talking like cities that are like populated by like 10,000 people? Like, even then, that's still terrible, but like, I just want to know how big we're talking on the scale here. Like, how big is the scale? If it hit the ocean, would it create a tsunami? Um, Most likely, I'm guessing. That's a guess though. Um, if it hit the moon, would it fracture the moon? And if it fractured the moon, would those fractured parts of the moon come into our atmosphere and then hit us and then destroy our cities? Like, what exactly is. Are we talking like end of the world doomsday types? Makes sense why all those billionaires are dying last year now. um, because they for sure were dying last year. Makes it does make sense why they were, in preparation. Getting into the bunkers, of course, because they knew something similar might happen. They wanted to be prepared. They're like, you guys, stay out there with all the asteroid bits and the moon bits, fragments coming to destroy the world. I'm gonna be inside my nice little home $1 million bunker. Hope you survive.
All right, quick update. NASA just held their live stream about 3i Atlas. Here's the highlights. I'm going to show you the images, and I'm going to give you my take on the whole thing. So they opened by immediately shutting down all the hype, the speculation, rumors. Straight out of the gate, they said, this is a comet. There's no mystery, just a standard classification of a comet.
Yeah.
They did say that their teams were still quietly tracking 3i Atlas through the whole government shutdown.
Is that comet going to hit anything major?
You know, they've been collecting data nonstop, basically. They then showed some images, and they showed it from multiple spacecraft. So they started with the Psyche spacecraft. They then showed an image from the Lucy, and the Maven was next. And then they also showed something from the SOHO missions. NASA has launched a dedicated 3i Atlas page with a whole bunch of imagery up there. So I'll link it down below so that you can dig through it yourself and check it out. Now, they did emphasize that they're still going through tons of data. So they said there's going to be more images, more analysis, and more deep. All right, quick update. NASA just held their live.
Detailed stuff. Interesting. Enough, I guess. It's pretty interesting. I just kind of wish there was some more. I mean, detailed information and all. I guess maybe I just have to check out their link and understand what's going on inside of the information they wrote out. It's never a Zay video without a yawn.
You and me, you know what we gotta do? We gotta talk. Because allegedly, we've had our first communication with the Annunaki this weekend. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, after the alleged meteorite fell to the ground, a message from the Annunaki allegedly came through in Alabama, and more specifically Georgia, during a national television broadcast. Okay. In this alleged message that lasted for up to 3 minutes, the Annunaki message claimed to say that they knew about the galactic war that was going on above us in space. They knew about the wars here on Earth. They also knew about the meteorite that fell to the ground, which it wasn't a meteorite. They also claimed that a lot more weird and bizarre and unexpected weather conditions and anomalies would be taking place in the coming months. In this message, the Annunaki did claim to say that they are here to help. They are not here for any other thing, but they are here to help mankind. Now, have you heard this? And are you perhaps someone who actually saw this message? Now, I have received, you and me, you know what we gotta do? We gotta talk.
How do you see the message exactly? Like, did they text people? This is 4 days ago, by the way. Did they text people? Like, how did they get a message from them? I'm confused. A little confuzzled. Pretty interesting, though. Wow.
Good day, mate.
Mom, watch this.
Yes.
My son caught this while watching Scooby-Doo talking about the Annunaki.
I am not Nova. I have only borrowed her body so that I may bring you an urgent message. Scooby-Doo, your life is in danger. I am of the Anunnaki, interdimensional beings that visit the planet Earth every few thousand years. They arrive at a time called Nibiru, when the barriers between our worlds grow weak. The Anunnaki have a great history of helping humans, but we have no physical form and must inhabit animals. This is why some animals, our descendants, can talk and others cannot. But not all Anunnaki are kind and good. There are evil ones, and the most evil one of all is imprisoned beneath Crystal Cove and must not be set free. You must undo it, Scooby-Doo. Undo it all. Save yourself. Save your friends. Save the world.
Good day, mate.
That was a lot of information. Inside of animals, huh? Some of them are in animals? Annunaki, some are good, some are bad, you know? Crystal Cove.
What's that? Oh, the Anunnaki sent a message to Harvard saying that that is not them flying towards Earth, that is in the 12-mile long ship, and that we should be afraid. Oh. And that they themselves are afraid of... What's that? Oh.
So they're not through an eye atlas, I'm guessing. This is what he's trying to say. And once again, how did they send a message to Harvard? Did they just like text them or something? Like, I don't understand. How did you get a message to them?
Yes, so that 1977 hijack in the UK, where a voice claiming to be from Ashtar Galactic Command interrupted a live TV news broadcast for like 6 minutes and told humanity to give up weapons and warned of disasters if we didn't evolve spiritually. That really happened. And no one's ever figured out who did it. There's been no trace, no technical explanation to date. And this alleged Annunaki TV broadcast hack thing that happened supposedly the other day in Georgia and South Carolina feels like it comes from the same playbook. By the way, the original video is pinned in my profile. Check it out. Join in on the conversation. Yes, so that 1977 hijack in the UK, where a voice claiming to be from Ashtar Galactic Command interrupted a live TV news broadcast for like 6 minutes and told humanity to give up weapons and warned of disasters if we didn't evolve spiritually. That really happened. And no one's ever figured out who did it. There's been no trace, no technical explanation to date. And this alleged Annunaki TV broadcast hack thing that happened supposedly the other day in Georgia and South Carolina feels like it comes from the same playbook. By the way, the original video is pinned. Yes, so that 1977 hijack.
That's so weird, bro. Wow. So they're saying they hijacked them again? Could look something up. How did they save 2 of everything? Help me.
Okay, if you're not ready to go for a ride, and I say this with peace and love, keep scrolling. Pentagon UFO whistleblower Matthew Brown just sent a very cryptic message to Elon Musk, and the message, I decoded it, and if I'm on the right path here, it'll make the hair on your arms raise. Let's get into it. So this post came straight from Matthew Brown's account last night, and he warns Elon that the US government already has a secret AI that can literally predict the future. He says Sam Altman betrayed Elon and that the first public sentient AI, they were silenced. The tone of it is very urgent. It's like Elon's being pulled into something that he's not prepared for almost. I don't know. But then it does seem to get deeper. He name drops agencies like the White House, FBI, Navy, Department of Energy, and the NGA. That's the guys who track stuff from space. He mentioned something called Marsupial. And allegedly, this is a Trump-era UAP briefing program, and he says that rockets are so 1947. The translation? Well, the government knows how these exotic crafts work, and they're lying about it. But then the post shifts, and this is where it gets... Okay, if you're not ready to go...
I mean, that makes sense. I heard a while ago that maybe all of these the triangle spacecrafts that we see are actually just our government. They aren't anything else. If you see the circle ones, you see the other ones, those are not our government. But if you see the triangle ones, that's our government. They know how to use and how to make these spacecrafts. Allegedly. I'm not sure if that's true. Pretty interesting stuff. Sounds unique. I'm talking about a play, obviously. Let's see. That's very interesting.
Hey, you want to hear the reason why a U.S. president broke down in tears after learning the truth about UFOs? Of course you do. It's super interesting. According to Ed Harris, a former NASA researcher, President Jimmy Carter, one of the few presidents to openly acknowledge seeing a UFO himself, was deeply shaken after his classified briefing. So the CIA reportedly gave him only a limited overview, as most presidents receive, but what he learned changed him forever. So what was he told? Well, according to this claim, Carter learned that major world religions, including Christianity, were programs created by extraterrestrials, designed to keep humans from destroying themselves. Carter was a deeply religious man, and this revelation shattered him. Witnesses said that he actually sunk his head into his hands and sobbed after hearing this, and he remained visibly disturbed for weeks after this briefing. Many actually believed Carter would be the president to finally disclose the truth about UFOs. But after that briefing, he never did. And recently, we've heard people like Tucker Carlson, Lou Elizondo, many people stating how dark this subject matter really is. So did President Carter learn a terrifying truth about our world origins, which caused him to not say, hey?
It's pretty interesting. It makes absolute sense. We are so likely to destroy ourselves, it's not even funny. There was a point where I thought that maybe we could run ourselves on a different system than the system that we already ran on. You know, our governmental system. And we would be liable for ourselves and for each other, of course, and it would be more like a helping, hand by hand system rather than a forcing. You have to work. You have to do this. And rather than that, you can do this. We'll still help you no matter what. We're your friends. We're your partners. We're your mates. You know, we're friends, even though we don't know each other. You know, like, you already know not to steal. You know not to kill. You are a human. Yourself. Why would you want any of those things to happen to you? If they happen to you, then, or you do them, then they'll happen to you. You know, they're more likely to because you're the one creating the problem, etc. So, I don't know. I just don't think that everybody can do that. Everybody can have that much regulation over themselves and over the body and over the understanding of reality. They would just go ape crap. They would do some crazy stuff. They would start fighting, start wars, start all kinds of things. And they already do these things even with the system in place that we have now. So imagine a system that is a little bit more free. It would be a catastrophe. It would be utter chaos. So, yeah, I get it, and I absolutely feel like we have to change our system, but we also have to figure out a system that actually works to put in place.
Yes, so that 1977 hijack in the UK, where a voice claiming to be from Ashtar Galactic Command.
Go all the way back.
In your phone. Porn. Hardcore.
Go to me. Go to favorites. Go to where I stopped off at. Sorry, Z editing. I know you hate this shit. Okay.
All right, what's the deal with all these videos popping up claiming that allegedly in parts of Georgia and South Carolina, people had their TV broadcasts interrupted for about 3 minutes? This happened just in the last couple of days. And during that time, in South Carolina, what's the deal with all these videos popping up claiming that allegedly in parts of Georgia and South Carolina, people had their TV broadcasts interrupted for about 3 minutes? This happened just in the last couple of days. And during that time, a message supposedly from the Annunaki aired, acknowledging the current chaos among humans. All right, what's the deal with all these videos popping up claiming that allegedly in parts of Georgia and South Carolina, people had their TV broadcasts interrupted for about 3 minutes? This happened just in the last couple of days. And during that time, a message supposedly from the Annunaki aired, acknowledging the current chaos among humans, warning of severe weather events coming. All right, what's the deal with all these videos
Makes absolute sense. especially the weather events.
Note, we were actually never supposed to know this, as a terrifying world-ending warning has been found completely erased from our history books, and it may be coming true. People were absolutely terrified when they discovered a dystopian ancient civilization, changing everything we thought we knew about history, and they're being hidden from us. These people were believed to be giants and so intelligent that they have predicted every major event on Earth without error, and they're now predicting our end. It was believed they even predicted modern tech, and even carvings showing that they predicted space exploration to aliens before we even knew about them. Places in Italy, Peru, Australia, Africa, and the US had discovered terrifying carvings dating over 10,000 BC old that were showing men in what seems to be literally space suits, and then highly debated carvings showing what appears to be them predicting spacecrafts and helicopters over 10,000 years ago. Known as the Anunnaki, their existence, their evidence, and their theories still remain highly speculative. But wouldn't that be crazy? Nope, we were actually...
I'm not so sure it would be. Whew, I cannot wait to see what happens in the future, honestly. This world is getting very interesting. I'm watching it as if I'm watching a TV show at this point. Even though I'm living it, I still feel like I'm in a damn TV show, okay?
Literally, yes, the Anunnaki were real. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. But they are not what you think. The Greek gods were real. The Egyptian gods were real. The Mesopotamian gods were real. The Roman gods were real.
I feel like they have to have been real, of course. These are very detailed stories about these creatures, these beings, these people that lived. They got it from somewhere, especially back then. They were just documenting what happened. And a lot of people were very spiritual, so I think that of course they would have, they would document stuff that they seen as beneficial, maybe, so I definitely think that these things were real. And nowadays they're trying to hide it and say, no, it's all fake, it's mythology, it's not real. It is.
All real, but they weren't gods. They were fallen angels. Y'all, I don't think you're ready. I don't think you're ready. You guys want a deep dive? Let's really get into it. Done videos on this before, but let's get right back down into the nitty gritty. Again, ever since I started to understand heavenly history, why demons hate us, what is the spiritual realm? What are we wrestling against? Because when I read, I think it's Ephesians 6:12, where God says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against rulers of the darkness, principalities, all the things. I'm like, okay, what is he talking about? Just diving into the fallen angels is enough to get your mind reeling for days. Again, Reader's Digest, the fallen angels were a third of the angels that rebelled against God. God, with Lucifer, now Satan, came down to the earth, procreated with mortal women, creating the Nephilim, the giants, practiced miscegenations, tried to make all different creations, a lot of them being half human, half man. You can see that in the Epic of Gilgamesh. You can see that in Greek and Roman mythology. Satyrs, centaurs, sirens, believe it or not.
Weird. Hearing humming in my room. I'm the only one in the room. I'm gonna stop it here. I'm gonna say that this is a good video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you think in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, leave any recommendations that you may have, and yeah, if anything pops out at you, please tell me. Leave a recommendation. Alright. Thank you. And have a good day.